Welcome back to another episode on Euphoric Sports here, where the topic of the video will be Manchester United and why have they been struggling? Who to blame? Should anyone be to blame? Ole out? Well, I believe that Manchester United has been struggling due to many factors around the club. The main one, you could probably say the owners, the Glazers. They have been very shady where the money comes, putting Manchester United in debt by buying more players. But that's not the point of the video, because those aren't very possible changes to be made right now. So the possible change is what I'll be talking about today. And that'll be, first of all, Ole in or Ole out. Personally, what I think will happen is Ole will be the manager for Manchester United till the end of the year, no matter what. Or at least until Ed Woodward is out and a new CEO is in. Because I don't believe Ed Woodward has any motivation to sack Ole. And unless ownership comes in and says we want him sacked, it's not happening before he's out. But I believe they'll give him the rest of the year. Because the run of games that are hard for Manchester United have already passed. Like the United and City. Now they're going to play Chelsea. Then they'll play Arsenal. And then after that, in the Premier League, they're going to have more easier opponents to play. Like the Brentfords, the Norwiches. They'll play Brighton. Even though Brighton's tied on points with them, it's a lot easier opponent than Liverpool and City. Even though, ironically, Liverpool drew with Brighton. But I believe United have a more better matchup with them. But a lot of people have even tried to blame not Ole, but I've tried to say Ronaldo. Now, if you blame Cristiano Ronaldo in any sort of way for the struggles of Manchester United, even though the man has been scoring out of his mind with very bad service. When I tell you bad service, you got McFred in the midfield. The only positive there is that you got Bruno. Bruno's fine. He's good. But when you got Fred and McTominay in the midfield, McTominay has potential to be a midfielder, a holding midfielder for Manchester United for the years to come, and he just needs a lot of improvement. But the potential is there. Fred, on the other hand, awful. You watch him against City and Liverpool, gets the ball, instead of, playing a simple pass or something, I don't know what he just kicks it up, or I don't know what's going through his mind. You got Roy Keane getting absolutely pissed over Fred. Can't blame him. Fred is just playing awful. Ironically, you got people saying that Manchester United is a midfielder away from contending, but have Pogba and Van der Beek on the bench on key games. I do understand why Pogba has been benched. Well, he was suspended against City and got a red card against Liverpool, but he probably should have started, in my opinion, against Liverpool, because Paul Pogba, you pay the big bucks for him, not to sit him on the bench and start McTominay, start Fred over him. And not only, I could see why, because Paul Pogba has been awful as well. For some reason, Paul Pogba cannot perform at Manchester United lately. And I have a theory on that. I believe it's just Paul Pogba isn't the player that Manchester United need right now. Manchester United need a box-to-box midfielder and a holding midfielder. Paul Pogba is neither. Paul Pogba has done well with France and Juventus due to people being able to cover the lack of work rate he has on the defensive side of the ball. And Fred and McTominay and Matic maybe 2-3 years ago could do the job. But he's older now, loss of legs. I think Matic can't really do the job as much anymore. He now needs that guy to help him out defensively, and because he doesn't have the legs. It's not that the quality isn't there, he just doesn't have the legs. But Pogba would do better if he had a guy like Kanté, Matuidi, how he had in France. That was the midfield with him. 2 defensive mids with Pogba. That's why he was shining, because he didn't really have to do much defensively. Yeah, he did. He wasn't completely not dropping, but He had two guys who could cover his laziness defensively when he was lazy. And then at Juventus, he had Pirlo, Vidal, Marquisio, these box-to-box and defensive midfielders. That's why he was performing. And he comes to Manchester United. He's done well for a couple times. A couple performances he puts up. Most memorables I could talk about is probably like this year. It's probably Leeds when he had the 4 or 5 assists. Then before that, Man City when he scored the 2 goals off set pieces, but he did score 2 goals. That's the Paul Pogba that was expected to be bought, but he hasn't been playing like that. It's another reason why Man United is struggling, because your big midfielder, big name midfielder, your superstar, your world-class midfielder is not performing, and who knows why. And now you got Van der Beek, who was bought for 45 million, can't even get on the pitch for more than 5 minutes now, because he's been getting on the pitch for 2-3 minutes, comes in, changes the game, and we'll give you 5 more minutes. Like, come on. Like, Fred can't play any worse. He's trying to get benched, in my opinion. I understand Van der Beek, he's a center attacking mid, he's not playing over Bruno, but I saw the game against West Ham. He was pretty good. He played well. He played well enough to start over Fred. I think you can play McTominay with Van der Beek. You could play McTominay with Pogba. But for right now, I'd give it to Van der Beek. He's hungry right now. But people can say, oh, the team will be imbalanced with Van der Beek because it's like playing 2 center attacking mids with Bruno and Van der Beek. But Fred is terrible. He's terrible. You got to switch it up. You're losing 5-0 to your rivals at home in front of your fans. Your fans are leaving. You got your legendary manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, there watching you lose 5-0 with one of your greatest players of all time, the greatest player of all time to come out of Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo, as your striker, scoring a goal that wasn't offside. I don't know what was freaking VAR thinking, because that was a goal, not offsides. But yeah, you can't be doing that. And the fact that Ole hasn't been sacked after that is crazy. But he is a club legend, I guess. But they're really letting a club legend get away with letting Manchester United lose 5-0. Like, nobody expected Man United to come outclass Liverpool, but losing 5-0 should never happen at losing your rival. Imagine if Chelsea lost 5-0 to Arsenal. Like, come on. But yeah, it's time to go for Ole, in my opinion. He has to go. He's not playing Van der Beek. He has a problem in the midfield, but his solutions are on the bench. And then a big reason I kind of agreed, but not anymore, about why Ole wasn't sacked was because the right guy wasn't there. He was there, and that was Antonio Conte. It was said that, Man United, his style, they don't match. But what style has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought to Manchester United? It's counter-attacking football, right? What is Conte? Counter-attacking football. What, you telling me this guy plays possession on a 5-back? And then not only was, we don't want Man United playing a 5-back, and then I see the next week, Man United line up a 5-back against Atalanta. Like, are you serious? Like, what's the next excuse?
I'm serious.
Oh my god. But yeah, I think Manchester United should sack Ole. But he will get at least the next month until Ed Woodward is out of the club. His contract runs out in a month or 2 or something like that. Then maybe the new CEO or the ownership will make the right decision. Ole should have never had the job. He's been riding off a win he had in PSG that he had nothing to lose. So that's why he probably outdone himself. Because when you go into a game with nothing to lose, it's a lot easier to perform when the whole world is expecting you to win. And that we've seen it countless amount of times with Ole. He's capitulating. He's lost to City, lost to Liverpool, lost to Villa. What else? He's lost to Young Boys, drew against Everton, lost to Leicester. Like, it's unbelievable. Man United got Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane, Ronaldo, Mr. UCL, and then a 4-time UCL winner, and then a guy who Manchester United fans have been hyping up to going to Man United. Man United broke the bank for him. It's been like years going on. And then you can't even beat Aston Villa. You can't even beat Leicester. And then in Leicester's home, and then the next week, a couple weeks after, you see Arsenal come in and beat Leicester in their home 2-0 convincingly. And then you're going to try to tell me Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs time, but Arteta should be sacked. He's lost the locker room. No, it's obvious Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has lost the locker room. You can even tell with Harry Maguire coming out and saying the club or the squad lacked belief. They're lacking belief. How can you come out and try to win with no belief in yourself? And that starts from the manager. The manager is the person who has to put belief into the players that they could come out and win the game. And now all they're doing is stuck there, wasting Cristiano Ronaldo's last years, the greatest player of all time, and you might not even make Champions League. He's the reason why Man United even have a shot at getting into the knockout stage. He single-handedly got a point in Atalanta with his 2 goals. Then a game winner against Villarreal, game winner against Atalanta. That is right there. 7 points that he's given Man United. Well, I guess you could take 2 off because they're going to draw. So 5 points he's given, and in the UCL group, 6 games, 5 points is the difference between getting in and getting out. And now they're going to play Villarreal and Young Boys, where hopefully Man United could at least get 3 points. If they lose to Villarreal, it happens. You're in Spain, you're in bad run of form, but losing to Young Boys in Old Trafford, if you do that, unbelievable. Should be sacked. But if he wasn't a club legend at Man United, sacked in the morning a long time ago. It's unbelievable. The expectations has lowered. Man United used to be like right here, sacking managers after FA Cup trophies, after Europa League, second place in the league. You know, Jose Mourinho gets sacked, Luis Van Gaal gets sacked, David Moyes in 8 months isn't performing, gets sacked. And now you got a guy losing 5-0, still keeping a job. And then I hear Man United doesn't want a 5-back. That's why they won't sack him for Antonio Conte, who's a serial winner, who's when he had a full year in the league, he's 9 out of 11. And 9 out of 11 Champions League qualification. He's won the league 9 times out of 11 times that he's had a full year as a manager. And it's insane that Manchester United did not want to get him. Because he could come in, win you the league. I'm not saying go win you the UCL because he has a horrible track record in the UCL. Has no impact in that. I'm not saying he will there. But maybe he wins you the league. You wouldn't take a league? Like, he's not going to stay there for long. You can have your little rebuilding session after Ronaldo, after Conte. But they think they have all the time in the world. You don't. You got Pogba expiring on a contract where you should have sold them last summer and try to get a replacement. Don't want to hear no nonsense about Paul Pogba being irreplaceable. He doesn't even fit in your squad. He doesn't. You don't need a player like Paul Pogba when you have Bruno. You need a box-to-box and a defensive mid. And clearly isn't happening with McFred. And Pogba has shown that he can't play that. Then another problem, I can't even blame Ole on this. Harry Maguire, £80 million defender, has been playing awful. And then, without Rafael Varane, that squad is done. Finished. The defense is terrible. It's against Atalanta, it looked organized with Rafael Varane there. He was a good center back. He was playing well. Got hurt, unfortunately. Then Harry Maguire. 80 million for Harry Maguire. Jesus. If they wouldn't have spent that 80 million, they can get a Conde for less than 80 million. You can get a Rudiger for less than 80 million. What else can you get? Gabriel from Arsenal. He's been good. got many clean sheets. He was 22 million. You don't gotta get Harry Maguire for 80 million. Break the bank for a guy who makes more mistakes than anyone. If he wasn't English, he wouldn't play another game at United and would be loaned out to some club in Spain or something. But since he's English, he gets the benefit of the doubt. No reason for him to be playing. Personally, I go Lindelof and Bailly over him right now. I understand Bailly scored an own goal, but Harry Maguire has done worse. Way worse. Luke Shaw, one season wonder, had the Euros, then said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not playing no more. Alex Telles should definitely be starting over him. That's why you got Alex Telles. That's why you bought him. When Luke Shaw is not in form, you play Alex Telles. He started against Villarreal, scored a screamer. But Ole doesn't have that mental capability to say, Luke Shaw's not in form, I'm going to play Telles. Wan-Bissaka, don't even want to talk about him. You got Diego Dalot. I think Bissaka's better than Dalot, even though Bissaka's not very good. So the only thing you got is Rafael Varane is the best defender you have by a mile. David De Gea has been one of your best players this year. Yeah, he's had a couple of mistakes, but that defense, like, did you see the second goal against City that City scored? Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire looked like they weren't trying, or if it was off. I thought it was offsides for a second, and then I just see it go in and celebrating. I'm just like, wow, 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 like, were you even trying? You're getting paid millions to just let that go in against in the derby. You're kidding. That even left me flabbergasted. Imagine Roy Keane, Gary Neville just watching that. And then Roy Keane does dig at Ole. He hasn't really said he should get sacked, but he said he should do a better job. Now, Gary Neville has defended Ole, saying another manager could come in and do the same thing. But that's why you do it, to see if there's a change. Are you seriously happy with 5-0 defeats in front of having the whole crowd leave in the 60th minute? Like, are you serious? That's what Man United has come to? The mighty have really fallen.